know the purpose of your life? The Bible tells us that we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. If God prepared a work for you, did you plan to ask for it? Because in the judgment day, you will be asked about it. Let's hear Athir's testimony and how he turned from the world to God.
I came to Canada in 1999 February, and one of the first people I met was Estephanos. He greeted us in the airport. I would go to my aunt's church, and we would go in there, and to be honest with you, I never understood nothing because I didn't speak Arabic. But I would always hear the gospel music, and I would always hear them worshiping God. So that's always something that stuck to me. But my spiritual life with God wasn't there. It was just, saying our Father, and that's it. I didn't have a close relationship or any knowledge about God at all, just that He created me. And as we were attending church, I would hear certain sermons in English, but I could never apply it in my life because the lifestyle I was living in were two different lifestyles. And I wasn't ready to give my life for God because I was enjoying my lifestyle, and it was hard to come out of it.
What was your spiritual life looks like before meeting the Lord?
My father used to always tell me something because he's seen the lifestyle I was living in. And he would always tell me, Athir, God has blessed us a lot. And if you continue in this lifestyle, God is not going to be happy with us. And He's going to take away His blessings from us because we're not obeying Him. You got to really straighten out your life because you don't want God to take away His blessings from you. And when I would listen to him, when I would hear it, I wouldn't apply it. I would just be like, okay, I heard you. But I wasn't ready to apply it in my life. And it was something that always remained in my mind. It was always something that I thought about. Until today, I still remember it.
The Lord, as Good Shepherd, He will guide us to be among certain people at certain time, to do the job that God has been assigned for us. Tell us about the moment when God touched your heart.
In around 2005 to 2006, we started attending St. Barsaumo Church to hear Estephanos. He was he would always have encouraging messages. So at that time, I didn't speak good Arabic, but I would understand a little bit. And slowly by slowly, the more I attended church, the more Arabic I started to understand. And I remember the exact date when God touched my life. And it was on December 24th, Christmas Eve. And I was over at my aunt's house. And as we came home, it was Christmas Day. And I'll be honest with you, it was a day I can never forget. I was in my room. And at that day, all of the sermons I've heard, all of the gospel music I've heard, it was like it flashed in front of me, and it was saying, Athir, enough is enough. You gotta come to me. You gotta come to God. You've heard all the messages. You got the point. Now you gotta surrender your life. And that was at that day when I realized I'm such a sinful person that I needed God. And that was the day that I realized Jesus died personally for me, for my sins. I came to realize how much He loves me and how much He cares for me. And that all this time He's been protecting me and guiding me no matter what I've done in my life. I should have been dead. But I realized that moment that God was always watching over me, and I was special in His eyes. And I was very dear to Him. So I gave my life to Him and I surrendered. And from that day on, I started having this desire to get to know Him more, to appreciate Him more, to thank Him more, to involve Him in my life more. To be honest with you, there was no way I was going to do that. No way. If it wasn't for God to convict in me, I would never going to come to this point. But by His grace and His mercy, He touched my heart and He helped me realize who I am and what I am in His eyes and how He sees me as a child, and He loves me a lot. And slowly by slowly, I started trying to change. I tried to change myself instead of asking God to change me because I wasn't really knowledgeable about God. But I started attending prayer meetings and I started attending Bible studies, and I got to know more and more. And my uncle one time told me, Athir, you have to surrender. You have to let Him do the work. You have to stop trying. Let Him work in your life. And from that moment, I realized what it means to surrender, and I surrendered my life to God. And truly, He has been guiding my steps, and He has been watching over my life. Even though I slip and I make mistakes, I know that His grace, He's always willing to forgive me. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to take advantage of His grace, but I know what His grace means. and I'm going to hold on to that.
What was the challenges that you faced after submitting your life to Him?
You know, after giving my life to Jesus, I've had a lot of rough times in my life where I started feeling guilty because I would go back to the sin. But you know what? One verse that always stuck to my mind was when Jesus said, "I will never leave you or forsake you." For me, I held that as a promise. And I held God true to that. And I challenged Him. I said, "Lord, I'm here feeling guilty. And I'm feeling ashamed of what I'm doing. But I don't want to look up to you because I'm ashamed of my guilt. I don't want to see your face. But your verse says, I have never left you or forsaken you. And I'm going to hold on to that." And you know, that's always one verse that always kept me coming back to God. A lot of times I felt like giving up. But that verse always stuck to me. And I thank God for that verse. Because it's true that He never leaves us or forsakes us. It's us who leave Him. But He doesn't. He's always with us.
The Bible tells us about the spiritual battle that every believer will have on earth while they are walking with God. Tell us about your experience in this regard.
You know, I feel the devil after me a lot of times. Almost every day he's after me and he's coming after me. You know, truly the devil fights only the true believers. And he's only after the true believers. Because the rest, he already has them in his hand. And the devil is so smart. And he's so smart that he's so slick when he tries to tempt you. When he wants to make you sin, he's so smart. He'll do it, he'll present sin in a way where you don't even look at it as sin. You look at it as something that you just want to do, something you just want to commit. I've been to, after giving my life to Christ, I've been to clubs. And I've been to environments where I shouldn't be. And then, as I'm in that environment, I'll be honest with you, not once was I happy. Before, I used to be happy. I used to enjoy it. I used to love being around these people. But after giving my life to Christ, it was like, no, this is the lifestyle I chose to come out of. Why am I going back to it? And then the devil would present sin to me in a way where I'm like, no, how can I give this up? It's so nice, you know, it looks beautiful. How can no, I'm going to go to it. And I'll be honest with you, as I would go and commit that sin, right away, boom, convict. I would feel guilty. And then the devil looks at me and gives me these thoughts. Oh, so you call yourself a child of God? You call yourself a believer? You call yourself saved? Look what you're doing. Look at the lifestyle you're living in. Stop going to church. Stop going to a Bible study. Stop praying. Stop reading the Bible. God doesn't delight in this. God doesn't want you to be like this. You're a liar. You're a hypocrite. And I'll be honest with you. I have never left you or forsaken you. That was the verse that always took me back to God. Because I realized His grace. And I realized how much He loves me. And I said, no way. I know who my God is. And I trust in my God. And I will never forget His love towards me. If He died on that cross for me, for my sins, I know He's willing to forgive my future sins as well. As long as I come to Him, confess my sins, present my sins in front of Him, and He's willing to forgive me. You know, the devil is a liar, the biggest liar of all, and he knows how to lie to us. And he lied to me so many times that I fell, and I went back to the world. But thank God for His truth that always kept me coming back to Him. If it wasn't for God's truth, if it wasn't for God's word, I would be back to the world. You know, I want to encourage everybody, please get to read the Bible. Read the Bible, get to know God more. Because the more you know the truth, the more you know when the devil is coming and lying to you. You know, study a lot of lies and you'll know how to lie. Study the truth and you know when a lie comes. We have to be very wise in this. In the beginning, I wasn't, because I wasn't reading the Bible a lot. I was just happy that I gave my life to God. I would read the Bible from time to time. But the more I got to read the Bible, the more I got to know God's character. The more I got to read the Gospels, I came to realize, no, God never gives up on me. He never gives up. He doesn't hold on to me like this. He holds on to me like this. In case I let go, He's always holding on to me. You know, and that's one thing I appreciate about God, that He loves us truly. He truly loves us. And that He never wants to give us up to the devil. You know, He tries day and night not to lose us. Not for the devil to come and take us away.
How do you feel about your past?
As I look back in my past, I come to see the character I used to be and what God has transformed me into. I used to look at myself as better than everybody else. I used to look at myself as always the cool kid that everybody wanted to be around. Because to be honest with you, that's my life. That's how it used to be. And I used to think of myself better than other people. You know, I never used to hang out with certain crowds because I thought of myself I'm better than them. And I used to think of myself as I'm invincible. I used to do all the sins I can commit, all the bad stuff I can do it and nobody can say anything to me. I had pride in that, and I took power with it. And as I look back at that, I look at it and I say, what a shame. Because as I look at my life now and what God has transformed me into, I love to be around anybody, who you are, the richest or the poorest person. I love to be around your company. I love to hear what you have to say to me. I can learn something from anybody. And I don't think of myself as anybody else. I don't think of myself better than anybody else. Actually, to be honest with you, I try to humble myself day by day. Because Jesus Christ, who is the King, who is God, humbled himself, came down and lived the life of a servant. For me, who am I? I'm no better than him. So I look at him as an example. I look at Jesus' character and I try to follow that. I try to live by that. That's the character I want to adapt to. That's the character I want to transform to. And I thank God that he's been planting love in my life, and he's been planting joy in my life, and happiness, and peace. I'll be honest with you. Before, when a problem would occur, I would worry about it, and I would go through stress and think about it. But now, as I go through problems, I trust in my God, and I have peace. I always present my problems to him. And he takes care of it. The verse in the Bible says, "Come to me who are heavy burdened and weary, and I will give you rest." Believe me, hold on to God's word. Trust him, because he's honest and he's faithful to keep his word. Apply it to my life, and I've seen the change. And I know you can see the change in your life too if you just give him a chance. Challenge God. Challenge him for his word, and see if he can do it in your life too. I'm a living witness to this, and this is why I'm here testifying about God and how great he is, and how merciful and graceful he is. No matter what we go through, and no matter how much we disobey him and disrespect him, I'll be honest with you, his character does not change. And this is a character I want to adapt to. Even when my brother sins against me, I still want to go to him with forgiveness. I still want to have that same love for him and not separate myself from him, but share that love with him.
What's your message to the world?
One thing I'd like to share with everybody is, I've been through a lot of experiences, and I thank God that I went through it at a young age and at a teenager age, and I thank God that he took me out of it at an early age as well. God has a plan for each one of us, and God has a plan for my life, and he has a plan for your life as well. And you gotta just give your heart, direct your heart to him, and ask him, "Lord, what is your plan for my life? What is the next step you want me to take in life? What is it that you want me to do next? How can I glorify you while I'm on earth? How can I share the gospel more while I'm on earth?" Nobody's promised tomorrow. And I encourage each one of you to try your best, to really give your life to God and see what he can do in your life. See the things that he can take you through.
How do you evaluate your current lifestyle?
Life is more joyful with God than the world. And I'm so happy that I got to experience this. And it's a privilege to say this to you, and that whoever is listening, I want to share something that I went through. I've had many, many different kind of friends. I always hang around with different friends. One day I'll be with this crew, the other day I'll be with this crew. All kind of friends I've been around. And I'll be honest with you, if you want to live your life with God, be careful who your friends are. Because the devil uses your friends to take you back to the world. And believe me, the devil used my friends to take me back to the world. And when I would go with them, they would hit me with lines. "Oh, so you're a Christian. How can you do this?" For me, I'm thinking they're going to accept it because they're living in sin. But look how the devil uses it to attack me, to make me feel more guilty, to make me feel more pain. So you really got to be careful the friends you hang around with. You really got to minimize your friend, not maximize, but minimize your friends. If your friend's a believer, you can have 100 if they're all believers. But if your friend is living in the world, you really got to be careful. Because I promise you, just as they took me back, they will take you back to the world. Because it's not that they want to, it's the devil's using them to take you back to the world. So be careful who your friends are, and listen to your parents. When your parents tell you, "I have a bad feeling about this certain friend," listen to them. Because believe me, your friends, your parents, you gotta trust your parents. God gave them to us so they can look after us, so they can take care of us and watch over us. So when they give us advice, we shouldn't just listen to it and say, yeah, whatever, you don't know me, you haven't lived what I've been through, you don't know my friend like I know my friend. Believe me, God puts certain feelings in their heart towards a certain person. He makes it real to them. He makes it known to them that this person is bad for your son or your daughter. And my parents used to tell me that, Athir, don't hang around with this person. Athir, don't hang around with that person. I'd be like, no, 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 you don't know him, you don't know him. Deep down, I knew my friend is a sinful person. I just couldn't expose that to my parents. But they knew, without even me telling them, without even my friends showing them. They just felt it. They sensed it. So, watch over who your friends are. Watch out, because believe me, they're going to take you back. And you don't want to go back to the world.
The Bible tells us to enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Are you ready for this?
Now I'm saved, and my life is joyful, and I'm at peace finally. But is that all there is for a Christian? You know, to be saved and, you know, now you have eternal life and you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. Is that what it is? No. Jesus said, carry your cross and follow me. And I'll be honest with you. To be a Christian, it's very challenging. It's not something easy. It's challenging. Every day we wake up, we pray and we ask God, please help us through this day. Give us grace this day. We need your help. We need your protection. It's not something easy, but it's something that's worth it. You know, we do it out of love. We don't do it because we have to. It's do's and don'ts. No, it's out of love. It's out of our love for God that we go through this challenge. Even though we have our ups and downs, in the end, we come out victorious because we know the salvation we have in Jesus Christ. He's a true God, a living God, who cares so much for each one of us that He's never going to give up on us. He's always willing to be there for us no matter what we go through. And us Christians, believe me when I tell you this, it's very, very challenging. It's easier to live in sin than to be a Christian because you don't have nobody condemning you. The devil does not come and say, oh, well, look what you did, look what you did. Oh, you failed God. When you're a sinner, when you're living with the world, the devil doesn't say that to you. But when you're a Christian, he's attacking you day by day, trying to make you slip, trying to make you sin more, trying to make you not see God's face. He wants you to turn away from God's love. He wants you to forget about God's love. It is very challenging. But my last words for you is, it's worth it.
Do you agree with Athir that life with God is worth it? Ask yourself, what's the most valuable thing in the world that you can buy to secure the eternity?